Just a quick little intro for this video number 7 of the Ready for Sea series that we've made, which is about, you guessed it, getting a boat ready for the sea. We sailed across the sea to Indonesia, where we are now, in this storeroom. We didn't come directly here, we didn't come straight to the storeroom, we went through a lot of islands in Indonesia, but to get to this point we had to do a lot of work, and this video is just some of the jobs that we did. This particular video has through hole fittings, so the holes that go through your boat that suck all the water up, installing new ones of them. A bit of a fail with that, but then a good recovery. It's an alright recovery. We went through the battery bank, a whole lot of electrical stuff as well, so there should be some gold in there if you're interested in how things work and fixing things and boats and having a seaworthy vessel, and if you sort of don't really know where to start, there's a lot on here, especially linked with the other ones in their entirety, to be able to completely wrap your head around how you can have a completely self-sustainable and I guess it's a little tiny home that you're able to live off grid with. The whole series we go through everything: battery banks, power, distribution, the power generation with the solar panels and the wind generator. We go through the plumbing, electrical. So it might be extremely boring to probably the majority of people, but if you're one of the weird ones that just like trying to work out how things work, that's what we've done. So I hope you enjoy. For sure, one of the hardest things about doing this work up here in the NT is just the lack of suppliers. There's no one-stop shop, there's no Whitworths. There is an RTM, they're pretty poorly stocked, they got fuck all. They don't have any of the skin fittings that we need, they're missing a lot of stuff, and then asking them to order in, that seems quite non-committal. Sucks a bit. But so what we've got to do is pretty much just go to the source of each one of these places. So at the moment we're at a place called Rhino Industrial. We're going to pick up some skin fittings, which is basically this through hole fitting. Then we're going to go to Ernst, which is like a hydraulic hose place. So yeah, pretty much got to go to about 6 different places in order to get something you can normally just get from one shop in Sydney or in Queensland. So you get to see a lot of new stuff. Like these places are just the flange kings. Like if you're into flanges, this is where you want to be. Check out these. So to get some skin fittings from this place, we know we're in good hands. So we're pretty much just going to the source, I guess. We're cutting out the middleman, which is good. It makes it a bit less convenient, especially given the kids and Laws here like living in the van. I don't want to disturb that too much, but today's just going to be a driving day. I need to just drive around and pick shit up. Just can't really do it on the bike. So here we go. Check this joint, it's got everything. Definitely in the right place. Sweet, and the battery banks are, the batteries are secured. I've got a strap over the top. There's blocking on either side with some blocking in between just to keep it all nice and secure and in place. And yeah, it's strapped down. So we've got all the positives together, all being a good positive bunch that they are. Got all the negatives together, just grumbling about the world and how much they hate everything and everyone. They're not touching each other, because if they did, they'd fight. Sparks would fly. And yeah, there's a wind generator, negative, and there's the positive wind generator. So yeah, when I was in Indo, I got some good advice from Jared, who reached out to us on here, on Instagram, which was good. And that was to have your feed going in one side, your positive, and then your negative coming out the last battery in the bank. And I guess the thinking behind it is, so you've got your main feed, so this connects to the boat, and then that connects all the positives together, and then you've got your negative feed, which is at this end, and that connects all the negatives together. So in turn, you're sort of sucking all the positiveness out of the battery, all the positivity out of the batteries this way. Get out! Oh yeah, having a good time. And then out of this side here, so here, you're sucking all the negativity out. So I know it sounds like a yoga class, but it's not. Though it was trying to bloody get those screws in. But anyway, it's done. And this is solid as it's not going anywhere. It's got some big screws in the base on that side and on the other side. So yeah, battery bank, done skis. Next up, we're over in the starboard hull this time. There's a couple of old wires here. I'm going to be testing them, and a dodgy little junction there. I went to electrical place, good old J Car, and they had this little fuse box. So I'm going to set a little fuse box up here so it's easy to look at, and then we can run power straight from here, which comes from the other side of the boat. We just need to label them, get them sorted, and then this will be the control panel, which will control cigarette socket, or USB sockets there, USB sockets there for me and Lawsy, the fan. Also going to put a little inverter over this side, just so we're able to charge the computer up. So probably have that under here, so we can punch the power through here, which is good. Yeah, we're going to bring some power to here. This is a manual toilet, but we're going to make it into an electric one. So I need to run some power to here as well. So that will also come from this block. So we're going to have two. We're going to have that side, which is the main bus bar you saw, which is pretty chockers. And then I'm going to go straight from this point as well and have one that's predominantly for this side of the boat. All labelled, all easy. Anyway, the other thing we're up to is this. I knocked the cupboard out so I could get up under there. See where those hoses go? Right up there. I want to stick another hose up there. So this is for the fridge drain. So when the fridge, defrosts, or the liquid or any mankiness can go down there and comes out. But as you'd imagine, there's not a hell of a lot of mank that comes out of here too often. You'd be lucky to get like a shot glass worth every week. What we've got here is a Jabsco deck flush. We haven't had one of these before. We've always just reached off the back of the boat and grabbed a bucket if ever we need water. You know, if we're washing up some dirty dishes or whatever, or cleaning down here, we'd normally get some salt water off the back. Given we're going to be deep croc country, I'm going to fit it under, so you can see why we made those holes and pulled it all apart. So pull that all apart. The pipe's going to go up there. It's going to tee off into the fridge, and then the pump. We went with Jabsco mainly because a lot of our other stuff is Jabsco, so I want to try and keep minimal spare parts. I don't want to 5 different brands. There's TMC, there's Shoreflow, there's Johnson, there's so many different pumps you can use, so many different diaphragms, so many different impellers. But yeah, this was they gave it to us for a good price. So actually no, they didn't at first, but we ended up getting it for a good price. But yeah, so that's going to sit up in here. You can see there's a little gap down there. That's where I'll poke the holes through. So this will be sucking salt water up. So we're going to have to run a hose somehow through here, somehow under that, and then pop it out down here, T-piece into the fridge. And then we'll have a little coupling, which I've ordered, which will sit around here somewhere accessible. And then you'll simply be able to click, twist, boom, and then you'll have seawater. So yeah, again, filling up the sink so we're not using so much fresh water, and also giving out here a blast. You know, if the kiddies eat some fruit or whatever and everything's a big mess, you can just go click. To be honest, it's been something I've wanted to do for a while, but it's never really been pressing. Whereas going to croc country with the kiddies on board, the cleaning up process, you can also get a hose extension and bring the hose up around the side to the front, and then that means we'll be able to hose down the anchor as we're picking it up in manky conditions. That's something we have to check as well. Need to make sure the windlass and everything's in good working order. But yeah, so this is a project. Electricals and getting this hose up and into position for the deck wash. So we can see these wires here, just cut them down to get the nice shiny stuff on, because it was all quite black like this. I say black, you know, just discolouring. It wasn't that nice shiny. We love shiny. So put these are little watertight seals, heat shrink, and they've got like a silicone in them as well. Stops any moisture from getting involved in any of the electrical action. Lucky I had these left over. These are from Vanuatu, a long time ago. Just crimp that on. And this will give us heaps better holding than what I had on there previously. The wires won't go black from doing this as well. We'll give them a lot more protection, and it'll keep them in here nicely. There we go. You can see there, that's heaps better. And the wire is nice and tight, it's not going to move. Ooh, you can feel a tiny bit of play. We don't want any play. No play. This is all work, no play, please. Give this a good fucking crunch. Yeah! And then this heat stuff we put up over the top just fits over the shaft nicely. You can see it on there, nice and tight. And then I had to turn this fan on because I disconnected this fan, because we're in Darwin and it's always fucking 35 degrees. Oh, I needed this fan. And that's it. Then we've got ourselves a good watertight join. Now while we're in wire repair mode, there was a section of this that was, you can see how dark it is. It was quite damaged in this cable. So I've cut the section out because it was very, that was it there, look at it, not good for connection. This, oh yeah, talk to me, look how good that is. So what I need to do is dismantle this thing. It's got a little spade bit in there which we've dealt with before. It's just a matter of getting it out. It's sort of wedged in place. Lucky for us that I bought one of these picks. Not dissimilar to what Sharon Stone used in that great film. But I'm going to use this to pick that out, put a new spade bit on, and click it back in. Done. Got another thing that's happened. So that plug was fixed. Just put a hole in the floor there to run a cable under there, under here, all the way up. And this is going to go into the new little fuse box area that we've just made. Oh, look at him. Ooh, pretty. Yeah. So that's going to be the macerator for the toilet. And then next we're going to start working on the pump here. We're having a work bender. Check out that. So we're having a work bender tonight. Lawsy's left us, well, I rode here this morning. I'm going to be staying on the boat tonight just to try and rip in. I'm going to keep going for a while. I've got some supplies, got plenty of beers, got some lovely Savage Apple Sailor Jerry's, which is good. It's icy at the moment because we fixed the fridge. So yeah, going to keep on nailing off some jobs. I'm going to keep updating as they get done. And yeah, see you soon. So this one's going to go up here. I'm going to put a cut around here above the waterline, this being the waterline, and then we're going to put the T-piece in here, and then I need to get up to this part. I can't see what's up there exactly, but I need to get a pipe through that, a 19mm pipe. So I'm not sure what's being filmed now, but I'm going to watch this back. see whether it's going to be too much of a mission. So you can see the light coming through this end. So now I'm under the sink, and yeah, there's a bit of a gap there. So I'm going to give this a bit of a clean up while I'm here, and I'm going to peep a few little holes through there. You can see which way the gas pipe goes up there. I'm not really comfortable in pulling the whole oven out, being it's all connected to the gas, and I'm not exactly sure how pliable it is or what the setup is for that. So I'm just going to peep some holes in here and just see what it's like, and if it looks like there's some clear space behind there, I'll make a hole through there and then try and feed something through to the other side. Heaps sorted tonight. Got the old pump mounted in there. I'm going to have to get some other hose though. This stuff kinks too much. But yeah, that's good. Haven't done anything with the through holes as yet, but all these connections are done and they look quite nice. So fridge drain, that sort of, just gonna swap out that hose up there. But yeah, all the electricals are all done here. This is looking good. Got this little cover on it with a few things. I put it upside down because you read it upside down, and you know, I've been upside down every now and then. There we go. And check out the other side. So we've got a fair way to go, but we are kicking goals. So next step is, so batteries are all neatly done. Happy with that. I'm going to now disconnect the solar and put that around the right way. This is just set up like this just while we're testing it to work out whether the old MPPT was stuffed, and it was. So this is the one we're using, and this is going to be Zena's room. So instead of having too many more electronics out there, I'm going to put it under the bed here. There's a fair bit of space, a fair bit of ventilation there, so probably mount it to that right now. And then this room will be more or less done. Alright, just reconnected it all, and she's good. No dramas. Time to make up the bed. Right, so the washdown pump is on, all clamped up. I was a bit worried about these hoses kinking, but I've got a fair bit of this high density rubber, which is good gear. Bought it a while back, sitting on the old vessel. So that's going to help with the vibration, because this is 60 psi, so like your bike tyres, I know, around 35, 40. So this has a lot of pressure. We want to stop those vibrations. Yeah, we want to stop that. Anyway, work on that. So now I'm going to do the outlet, which is going to go from there out there somewhere. I've also got to get some power, but I'm going to try and find a suitable spot where this can poke out on the other side. So if I open up a little hatch here, I can have a little bit of a look under here. So let's talk ergonomics. So when this lifts up, you can see I've put a little pencil line, sort of follow that, because I don't want to install it and then for things not to be able to open properly and whatnot. And this flush deck mount, it's going to fit flush, but if you are pressure washing, there's going to be a thing in the side of it. So ideally I would have wanted it around there, just, I think it's a good height, but this will hit if it has the deck, if it actually has the hose in. And I don't want to be in a bloody situation where, you know, you can't do certain stuff because, you know, you can't lift this up unless that's out, and this doesn't work unless that's it. I just want everything to flow. So also just spoke to the boating warehouse. They reckon don't put any holes in until it arrives because the sizes could vary. So we're going to hold off on this. So this is where my lovely shower was supposed to be last night, but I ended up just going old hose style. You know what? It was very enjoyable. So yeah, the plumbing's not connected to the boat, as you know. So having this nice little work bender has just been beers, good times, music, a few podcasts, a few audio books, lots of shit that you've seen. And yeah, this is where I've been getting the water from, showering, nice bit of soap there. It's communal, but I think as long as you wear away that outside layer, it's not really that scummy, is it? So I've been debating. I'm about to install these seacocks. Now I've got this one from Rhino Industries. They didn't have a flush mount that I was after like this. I got this from RTM, but it feels a bit poxy especially after holding this beast. So the same size thread, which is what we need. Thing is, this has a big nut on the end, which means we'll just be sailing whilst dragging a big nut through the water. 2 nuts actually. So not too fond of that, and also don't really like the grooves in here because I think a lot of creatures are going to want to live in that. Whereas this one, if you look closely here, there's a bit of deformity in the plastic. I couldn't see it through the packet, but looks a bit average. So given that the through-hole fittings are bloody important to stop us from sinking, I'm going to go with this hardcore version instead. And this nut here, I'm just going to, once it's sealed on the bottom of the boat, I'll just be able to grind that down so it's a little bit smoother, a little bit more hydrodynamic, so we can slice through the water a little bit more like this one would have. So we're going to have the strength of this with a little flat top like that. Okay, let's go. Well, this is good. So these are nice and tight, the fit. The thing is, when you get down, that one's not too bad. But this one here, it's got a smaller diameter. See around the outside. So I'm just going to take this back. Going to grind all this back to bare fiberglass, just so I can get a really good bond of this onto there. I've already cleaned this with some metho, but it's going to need another clean. Another little, give that a little sand as well. And then what we're going to do here is I'm going to cut this one to length because it doesn't need to stick into the boat that much. The parts where it's going to go in, it's actually got it's got to go around some other pipes. So I've marked that length with some plumbing tape, and that's going to be where I'll cut him off, and then that'll allow it to fit under the pipes. But the other one's a good length. So I'll get all that shit done. Before I pack all this away again, I've just run this wire through. I'm not going to use it. It's just going to be like a mouse, like a lead wire. So once I can start putting things back together a little bit, just so the boat's not in this constant state of crap everywhere-ness, I can put that in position, and then when I do get the correct wire, which I should hopefully pick up tomorrow, then that means I can just tie that to the end here, or tape it around, and pull through the other end, and then it can just pull straight up. I had a bit of a disaster. I put these puppies in, put them in, and then as I went to put the washer and the nut down from the back, the whole thing started spinning, but I didn't realise it was the whole thing spinning until I got down a bit. I'm like, Ah, shit, because you can't really see. I had no one to hold it from the outside here. So I was going to try and put some vice grips on it and then weigh it down with a brick, and then I thought, oh no, come on. There's got to be a better way. But look, ended up being a bit of a mess in there, and I thought I wasn't 100% satisfied that it was going to be good, and I came out and had a look. They looked quite bulky as well, the way they were sticking out. So I've done a 180 backflip, taken these ones out and gone for these, and I'm much happier with the seal on this. It's tight as. What I've done is put the Fix 15 on first, a massive bead on the inside right around the middle, so it'll go in the hole, and then another bowl on the outside and push that down so it's all together, and then I push it in so it's sort of like, I push it so it's not super tight. I started doing it up from the back, but not completely. What I'll do, I'll wait for this to go off, and once this sets, then I'll really jam that nut on from the back, and that'll act like a little spring tensioner, because this has a bit of flexibility in it. So that'll give us a really nice, tight, waterproof bond in there, and I'm a lot happier with that. Still got the deformity there, which isn't awesome, but given that its majority is sicker behind there, or the Fix 15, yeah, I'm happy with how, I'm a lot happier with this setup than the other setup. That's been it. So it's been like 48 hours, the boat, almost, and had a late night. I think I finished the last job at about just after 11:30 last night, but got to nut out a lot of things. Got more done the last few days than what I thought I was going to do, so that's good. Still a fair way to go, but we've knocked the main jobs on the head that were going to be fiddly. Initially when we were here, I was thinking it was going to be like 50 days worth of work. We've been going pretty solid for the last 16 days. I reckon another 10 days of, if I can not have too many more hiccups, which is inevitable. But yeah, I think 10 more big days, 10 to 15 big days, and I think we'll be ready. The parts, there was a hold up with the toilets. We had some electronic toilets coming. Electronic toilets, not robot dunnies. They were just like press a button and it does the action for you. So they've been delayed a little bit, which, because we've got all the plumbing set up here already, it's not going to be too much of a, I don't think it's going to slow us down too much. I think I can get all the preliminary, so all the base work in, and if we get back in the water before the toilets arrived, I can simply close a new sea cocks, because they're new cocks. I just twist that new cock just like that, and then that will stop water from getting in there. That's the idea of them. And then I can actually fit the toilet while we're in the water. That's why we all love sea cocks. Yeah, cheers for all the advice that I've been getting from a few of you. It's been good. A couple little tips, a couple little ideas. You know, I'm always open to ideas. And yeah, got these batteries to take back. Probably do that later. I might hook that up with Mr. Axel. But yeah, all in all, the last 2 days have been good. We've ticked off a lot of things. I miss the kids. I miss Lawsy. She's back there in the caravan park, living in the van. You know, it was very good for the first week, and it's getting to the stage now where we just I really need to get this done, because once we move back here, we're all going to have our own bed. Axel, Sina, us, which is something we haven't had for a few months, since our whirlwind pack up of the cafe and the house in Mooloolaba. So yeah, it's going to be good to get back here.